see, this can happen. So how do we prevent it? Well, I decided to create some headphones that I guess could tell you if there's someone behind it. But how did I start all this? How did I make such a bulky, fat, and big and weird looking headphones that nobody's probably gonna wear? Well, I first wrote down the problem statement. The problem statement says, when using headphones, you aren't aware of your surroundings. And this is a big issue because when you're listening to your music or whatever you're listening to, you don't know if there's someone sneaking up behind you to take your phone. So that was the first thing I wrote down on the notebook. As you can see, I'm writing it down. The second part that I wrote down was the research part. So this part is very important for the design process because you need to be able to get some inspiration. You don't want to copy it necessarily. Maybe you can copy, but then you can get a copyright, and then that's not really good. But yeah, so you got to research first, get some inspiration, and then, you know, build from there, go from there. So what I noticed while doing my research a lot is attaching components to the side of the head looks chunky, but it seems to be the most efficient, and that's what everyone does. I don't think I'll be attaching it to the side because on the headphones, I just feel like it's just going to be very big on one side. I don't think I'm going to be able to balancing out. The requirements for these headphones, they have to be comfortable, of course. Number two requirement, obviously indicate if there's someone behind you because that's the whole point of this, right? So yeah, for my brainstorming sketch, obviously, as you can see, they're not the sketches are not really good, but yeah, I mean, I try my best. I'm not really an artist. But yeah, so yeah, for the brainstorming, I just kind of drew the back view, headphones with the Arduino in the back. You know, this was kind of rough prototype or rough brainstorm that I just came up with on the spot. And then the top view. On the top view, we have a little box. So yeah, I was thinking of making a little box where I put all the components, the Arduino, the ultrasonic battery, and buzzer. I also made the circuit. Of course, the circuit does not look good either, but you know, it is what it is. I ended up being able to actually read it somehow and actually be able to do some more wiring using this schematic. Yeah, so that's pretty much what was going on when I first was designing it on the notebook. Finally, I start actually wiring it. I start making sure I have everything connected to the correct spaces, so when I plug in the battery, it actually does something. I did use the passive buzzer at first, and I was kind of weird because a weird noise was coming out of it, and I just switched it out to the active buzzer, which just makes normal noise. There's no, like melody or anything to it. It's just pretty loud though. I did think it was gonna be like vibration at first, but later I found out it was just a noise. Now I'm gonna focus on the headphones, making the build. You know, I already did draw some of the brainstorm ideas, and I did use that as inspiration. So yeah, and then I just made sure to made sure that everything is good. And I ended up using this cardboard box from a pull-up bar. And I ended up just cutting part of it and using that as a little, I guess, band that goes around the head to hold the components in. And I just ended up trying to bend the cardboard a little bit, trying to make it fit well with the headphones. A problem that I ran into is obviously when the cardboard snap in place with the headphones, obviously they come out because it's really weak. So I ended up using some tape around it so it can hold the cardboard and so that it doesn't fall off or anything like that. And this ended up working pretty well, better than I guess I expected, because I don't know, I just feel like these materials that I'm using are pretty low quality, but I mean it worked, so that's all that matters really. And then I ended up making some support for the back, so that's not really part of the original plan that I originally designed in the brainstorm, but I ended up putting it there for extra stabilization, so it doesn't like wobble around. Without really much preparation, I just tried going for it, try and find where the correct placement for the components would be, and I'm just like scrambling. I'm just putting it anywhere, trying to see where it fits. And I ended up getting some wires from another project that I'm working on, another video that I'm working on. I ended up just using some of the wires from there, so it's gonna be pretty unfortunate, pretty rough for me when I'm actually making that robot again, because I have to figure out what I disconnected, where it does go. So that's gonna suck. But you know what? It was good for this video because I ended up using the wires, the longer jumper wires from the RC car into this ultrasonic sensor so that it can reach further distance. So yeah, it worked pretty well, I'd say. And then I ended up using some zip tie. I do have tape, but I don't think tape would have done pretty well. So yeah, zip ties were definitely the best option, honestly. I ended up putting the Arduino and the batteries and then the buzzer all to the side to the left side of the headphone. To the left side of the headphone. I don't think I'll be attaching it to the side, because on the headphones I just feel like it's just gonna be very, very big on one side. I don't think I'm gonna be able to balancing out.
Oh my god, bro.
And then just putting the ultrasonic sensor all the way to the back using those longer wires. So again, that is how it ended up working out. So yeah, and then I had all the components there with all the zip ties, and then there is the battery and the ultrasonic sensors. And then obviously all that was left was to do the programming, which the programming was very, very easy, because I already had some notes from previous when I was like testing out the ultrasonic sensor. I already had some code ready for that, because I save all the code that I make and I put it inside my notes so I could use them for later if I needed them. And obviously it worked out pretty well for this, because I ended up using it pretty well. I ended up finishing this program pretty quickly. I didn't even need to use any ChatGPT or anything, or any sort of AI. I just used maybe some Google, maybe some, but no ChatGPT, because it did not go that far. I did not need that much assistance. But yeah, it was pretty neat, pretty nice. I'll show you the program that I was using, just so you guys can see it. Maybe you guys want to do this at home, but I don't really think you guys do. But yeah, if you just you can see what I was doing. So yeah, that was the program that I was using. So yeah, that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the design process, the design that I ended up putting to make this. It was pretty fun. Alright, now it's time to see, does this thing even actually work? Let's find out.